Hi everybody, welcome to week 7 now. Wow, almost the midterm of the course. So let's see, here in my office, lovely spring day in Denton, um, to talk about your discussions from last week. Shad, Kirby, Sharada, you guys had a really nice, wanted to compliment you, and others did too, but these stood out. You guys had a really nice integration of Brettel and Zolberg in your pieces, so nice work. As usual, the best posts are the ones that are drawing links, really starting to draw links between other things that you've read within this course. So integrating, week 3 readings into the week 7 response or week 6 response. That's what we're aiming for here. That's what you really need to start doing. All right, integrating things across readings, and you need to do it in a specific way. It occurred to me that some of you guys are actually a little bit vague in your posts. So, for example, don't just say something like, Zolberg is an example of this, or this parallels Brettel's discussion about identity, right? Like if that's it, if that's the link you're drawing between the readings, then it's not enough, all right? Like don't be so vague. Instead, be very specific. Like, this parallels Brettel's discussion of how identity as a social construction can be manipulated, in which a person with community value, becomes a criminal, therefore devalued, by a political society that benefits from cheap labor, but then at the same time criminalizes it, all right? So that's the kind of parallels you need to be making with Brettel and with stuff that you've read in the past, all right? Really specific. And I'll have to be paying attention to that kind of stuff on the midterm, all right? Because your midterm will be next week. What else? Hey, I loved your all's videos. They were really fun to watch. It occurs to me, and I'll probably do that kind of assignment again, maybe even twice in the second half of the course, because it occurred to me that this is actually something the online courses do better, giving you guys a chance to find videos and post video links. And YouTube is pretty amazing. And not just YouTube, but any other source of videos online. So let's see, my favorites. They were all really good. Latasha, your thing about immigrant children prison detention centers in Texas, holy cow. Yeah, that's really interesting, like amazing stuff, isn't it? I might have mentioned this earlier in the year. We had a graduate student, Jara, who she worked for, I think, Human Rights Initiative, and Human Rights Initiative actually sent her down there to do interviews. So this was her practicum project or her applied thesis project in our program. So she did interviews with kids after months of getting permission. And did interviews with kids about what kind of program that HRI might do in the detention centers for kids. Anyway, it's amazing research, and much more of that kind of stuff would be needed. Tanya, your thing about farm workers in Florida, there was another thing, I don't know if you saw it or have seen it. It's a Dateline MSNBC special. Dateline MSNBC did this amazing thing like over 10 years where they followed children who, like the children of the agricultural workers as they go and travel across America. And so, they point out things that, like how it's legal technically for an 11-year-old to haul heavy blueberries and bend over and sweat in the hot sun. But you can't take that same 11-year-old and put them, say, in a Whole Foods market in a nice air-conditioned setting to stack the blueberries. Anyway, Kathy, your Postville, Iowa thing about the meatpacking plant and the ICE raid. Yeah, holy crap. I don't know if you've seen it. There's another movie out called Abused, the Postville Raid. That's really good. Yeah, it's just amazing stuff. The most amazing thing to me is in the clip that you showed about how what used to be a $20 an hour occupation is now an $8 an hour. So like the vagaries of the world market are always just amazing to look at. Hey, Greg and Standra, before I forget, the links to your videos didn't show up, or at least I couldn't get them. So if you could, Greg and Standra, go back and repost the actual link because I couldn't actually see them. Okay, quick comments on the readings. I think I'm not going to assign the Starn reading. It didn't work for me as much as I didn't like it as much. But the Nygren reading I thought was good, particularly the stuff about migration, right? I think the most important thing to take out of that was looking at how structural adjustment programs, particularly the structural adjustment programs after the Sandinistas, essentially made life more difficult for people who had seen some gain under the Sandinistas or under the Sandinista regime. So then when men have to migrate, to try to improve material conditions because of things like loss of land or just increased economic difficulty, so men migrate, and then I think what he shows well, the Nygren reading shows well, is just how men's migration makes life more vulnerable for women and children. So anyway, a really good reading. So let's see, this week coming up, Alicia has it set up really as a more detailed case study. I mean, the lesson is a more detailed case study about Guatemala and Guatemalan migration and the violence there in Guatemala that's caused so many people to flee. There are 3 readings. The Hagen article, it's about Guatemala. Don't be put off that it looks long. Trust me, it's a really quick read, all right? The Graham piece is really a good one about transnationalism, and so if you weren't sure what transnationalism was or that you really got it, you will after reading that Graham piece. It's really about how political and economic resources and capital cross borders. My favorite piece for next week is the Weatherford reading, although it's really depressing, I will tell you now. It takes as its starting place Zollberg, and discussions about the world systems theory, particularly noting how it can be very exploitative. So it's about how global demand for something, and in this case, what he's talking about is Western demand for Bolivian cocaine, affects change and migration kind of change at the local level, at the micro kind of level. So it's a really good sort of macro to micro kind of piece. I guess that's it. That's all I can think of. Hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you, we'll read you in the discussion postings, all right? Make sure you email if I can answer any questions, all right? Talk to you guys later. Bye.